your microphone that is part of your computer. There we go. Okay, now let me go ahead and send you and ask to unmute you there. See if you get this message and if it helps at all.
Can you hear me now?
I think we have you. Beth, how are you, my dear?
I'm very well, thank you, Ariel. Very nice to be here. Always a pleasure.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to know the genius.
Well, I've been a practitioner for nearly 25 years. Bioresonance, I've used the Vega machine for many years. I'm a Reiki master. My first business, when I first started, I was doing things like reflexology, and then I moved into using a Vega machine for doing things like allergy testing in the UK. As time has progressed, obviously very, very excited to come across the genius with a colleague of mine, Denise, who first purchased the genius and had the most amazing experience, which completely blew me out of the water. I don't know if anyone knows the story there, what happened. Well, three of us were working together very closely, and Denise had bought the genius, and what happened was her other friend, I think it was a nephew or somebody like that, had this accident where this little boy was dragged 10 foot down the road by a great big lorry, big truck, and he had to be taken to hospital in a body bag because his skin was so badly ripped off, and they had to put him into an induced coma because of the pain could have killed him, you know. And so Denise, using her genius, literally used the machine and ran it for 3 days, 24/7 on him. And within the 3 days, that little boy went from being in intensive care to they had talked about having to do skin graft, but after the 3 days, he didn't need a skin graft. And unbeknown to Denise and myself, he'd also had a scan which showed that he had a bleed on the brain and a fractured skull. And when they, redone the tests, that was completely gone. So on the strength of that, I went, I have to have that machine. I have to have that.
That's incredible.
So that was my first experience of the genius, and I was so excited to use it. And then for myself, I think it was 2019, I had an accident and I broke my arm.
I was going to say that. I was going to mention that after that, then you had the injury. So tell us what happened and how you utilized the genius.
Well, I literally fell off a bike, broke my arm. My bone was sticking out of my arm. I fractured my hand in 5 places, and we don't know if I did anything to my left foot. And so I ran the machine literally 24/7. And literally the next day, the bone had gone into my arm and gone back in, and I just have got a scar. It looks like a scar on my arm now, and it was just incredible, absolutely incredible. So I just, and all the time, I just find this machine just is always baffling me. I mean, my dog was supposed to have a very serious operation, and I ended up explaining and showing the vets the genius, because I took him to have his operation, and on the morning of the operation, the vet looked at him. She said, "What on earth have you done?" And what she'd said to me at the time is, she said that he had all these lumps, and he had a huge lump that was attached to his heart, and we're going to have to cut and remove this great big lump. And she said to me that she thought it was histamine related. So I thought, okay, let's have a look. So I put it in the genius, and everything I could find related to histamine, I literally ran it on my dog, Teddy, and lo and behold, all the lumps shrunk. So he didn't have to have the operation. So he's very grateful.
So tell us just a little bit of detail. And first of all, I'm so happy about that. I'm such an animal lover myself. Yeah. When you found the histamine program and you ran it, what was your strategy? Did you run it once in the morning, once at night?
Yeah,
What did you
I
do?
did. So first of all, obviously I was on a time thing because obviously he was scheduled to have an operation. So I would, I know with animals, a lot of people say just do it for 15 minutes, but I was literally doing it so that I'd do a little program. I'd run it till I got at least 50%, and then I would, have a break, and then I would do it again. So I would do it probably for about 30 minutes, maybe an hour, and not every day. I would literally muscle test, because I do everything with muscle testing, to see whether I should run it now or wait till the next day, etc. But also I wrote a couple, which again is one of the benefits of the Genius. You can write your own libraries. And so I literally wrote libraries for Teddy. So I wrote one for all these fatty lumps to be reduced as well. I wrote one on cysts, and any information that I could get on to do with what he had going on in his body. I literally put it all together and put it through the Genius, and then literally ran the frequencies. And as I say, it was brilliant. And the thing for me is my dog isn't very good at taking medicine at all. It just, anything, antibiotics, nothing. He's really no good at anything like that. So for me, this is great because I can put it in energetically and see the difference in him. So that's to me, it's worth its weight in gold, just literally for that alone. So,
all right, Beth, I have to interrupt you. We're having a very weird thing happen with the webinar, so I may have to start the webinar again. So will you do me a favor? If you get logged out, just log right back in, and we'll just jump right back in from where we were, okay?
Okay, that's cool.
All right, thank you so much. I want to make sure that we get to everyone, hear from you, but right now I don't have any control over everything, so we're going to restart the whole kit and caboodle in just a moment. Okay, Beth, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, yes, I can. Okay, it looks like we might have it back. Thank you so much for your patience, your aplomb. I really appreciate it. So I'm going to set everything up while you're talking. We were right in midstream talking about Teddy and your approach. So let's go right back to that and keep the energy flowing.
Yeah, good. So with obviously with Teddy, I was running the programs that come with the elites as well, for Teddy, and also putting in any nutrients that I thought that he may need to build him up. And I literally made a library for him, which I do for a lot of my clients. I make a personal library so that each time I go back in, I don't have to kind of drag and this, that, and the other, and it's quite condensed. And so I literally was doing it for, I think it was about 2 weeks, on and off, and still he's fine, absolutely fine, doesn't have to have. And every so often I recheck him just to keep tabs on it and make sure that everything's okay. And yes, he's good, he's really good.
He's good. He's good up until today. He's continued to do
yes,
well.
yes,
Tell us about
absolutely.
your own experience with your clients and how you've been working with them.
Oh wow, well, there was loads. I mean, loads of things. I mean, I use it for literally everything. To be fair, and I find, I mean, I write programs. One of the things I do is I work with people who can't get pregnant, fertility, and so one of my favourite libraries that I've written that seems to be very, very helpful is I've written what I call a toxic womb. Which seems to help people along the way that seem to have problems with falling pregnant, because I'm a great believer that, you know, if you've been born out of a toxic womb, it can create havoc later on in life. And also I find, because I'm a body code practitioner, in my experience, I've always found that people who are having trouble trying to fall pregnant, it's usually inherited problem from their father's side. And as soon as you clear that, so I've kind of made that into a program to clear those kind of things. And it's quite interesting. As soon as you start to run things, the next thing you know is people saying, oh, God, I'm pregnant. Where is that? And
That's
it's
amazing.
so quick.
That's amazing. So to clear the toxic effects and to promote fertility.
Yes.
Very nice. Well, the plastics and so forth are all many things that are preventing people from conceiving these days. Many challenges.
Yeah. You know, and you've only got to have, you know, being a child being conceived by parents who are both, say, one taking drugs, one's having alcohol, and that's going into the baby, and so on and so forth. That can create behaviour patterns later on. So it's interesting to just clear those things, I find. And also there's lots of other things. If somebody's continually having miscarriages, sometimes the DNA will get stuck, you know, from those miscarriages. So I like to run something to clear those kind of things, because again, it's something that we don't expect, or you don't realize that, you know what, if you've had a miscarriage, there could be some DNA left from that baby inside, and then you can get pregnant again, and that DNA may attach to the other baby, and so on and so forth. So for me, it's just a really good tool to have. It takes all the guesswork out. And it's just so much fun, you know, because you can show people, and it's and people are fascinated, especially the people that obviously have their, you know, the app on their phone, and they can play their frequencies when they want it. I mean, my daughter always makes me laugh. She says, Mother, you know, I have to be careful when I play it, because as soon as I play it, I go to sleep.
That's hilarious.
So, you know, so where other people will play it and they're energized, you know, so I think it depends obviously what you're running as well. I mean,
I think that, Beth, you've been really groundbreaking in the work that you've done with groups. Tell us a little bit about how that transpired, your work with WhatsApp, and how that expanded for you.
Well, that very same group has been running now for, I don't know, maybe it might even be 2 years now, I think, or maybe it's definitely at least a year or so. But it all started by mistake, really. I was fairly new to the Genius, and I was booked to go to London to a Dr. Joe Dispenza workshop. And it got cancelled because of obviously lockdown, and everybody was really disappointed. And we all had a WhatsApp group talking to one another about how excited we were going to go on this workshop. And I just thought to myself, wouldn't it be really nice if, you know, people were so disappointed, if I could do something for everybody as a collective group, and what could I do that could really, you know, help everybody? So I said to them, how do you feel? You know, you can have the app on your phone for a week for free. So it's not going to cost me anything. If I get you all together and we all, you know, set the intention, we can do some frequencies and run them in the app for a week. So what I did was, using my knowledge of Dr. Joe Dispenza, I created some libraries, one of which was called Becoming Superhuman, and all the rest of it. And there was about 200 people who took part, and eventually they all signed up to do a monthly subscription with me on a regular basis, which I run and have been running now, as I say, for a long time. And everybody's really felt the benefit of it. The difference was incredible. did not expect the results that I had. It was just mind-blowing. You know,
what are some of the things that people said that they experienced as they got the export for the group and started running the frequencies for themselves?
Well, it was all different things, from people who hadn't got jobs to people who were getting jobs, people that had been having terrible problems with digestion, suddenly that cleared, people that were saying that they were trying to get pregnant. It was completely, there was so many things, and so many people were having such incredible experiences. And I just found it was so weird that, you know, everything I kind of thought of, it suddenly happened. It was like a manifested this amazing thing, and everyone else was saying the same thing, and some people were running it in the background while they'd be doing meditations. So over time I've put meditations into their into the code that I run for the group, which I call them my group A, and I've got now got several other groups on the go. You know, so it's great fun, and it's just been incredible. I mean, one of the people I think who was from that first group, now she had horses, and she would put the frequencies, or still puts the frequencies actually, onto an iPad, and then puts them in the stable with the horses and plays them to the horses. And she said, you know, it's really cut her vet bills down, because she's hardly had to have a vet out at all, because, you know, they've been using these frequencies, and they're lovely and calm, they're healthy, and she just thinks it's absolutely wonderful. So I mean, and that's just one of the very few things. I mean, there's just been so many. It's been incredible, really. I also did wristbands, and I did it, and my son was the tester for that one.
Well, let me slow you down here, because you have so many great things to share. I want to hear all about that. But so people know, would you share what you charge for the group? Like for an individual who wants to be part of the group, what would they pay per month to be a part of that?
Well, I've got different groups. They pay so the Monday group, they pay £45, and for that they get a code each week for the month.
They get, and in other words, an export of capsules for the group.
They get an
now, do you meet with them, or do you run the group offline?
No, it's run offline. No.
Okay, so and how do you, when you run that group offline, how do you work out the group, the like picture and voice? What do you do for that?
So what I've done, and I do is I get their name, their full names and dates of birth. I created a circle with the intention of being a Reiki master, put Reiki symbols into that circle, and I took a photograph of that circle with all their names and address, you know, so dates of birth, and I set that intention, and I just put it in the machine. And then what I do is, when for the voice, I just say literally my group A people, and that's all I do. It's, you know, I don't do anything, you know, anything wizardry. That's literally all I do, and I do that with each individual group that I have. So I've got what I call the group A, which is my Joe Dispenza group. I have my people that are either in remission or chronic illnesses. They're the Friday group. They get different frequencies. They get things like the DNA, stem cells, and also I've got what I call my template that I use for clients who've got chronic things going on, which is things like the endocannabinoid system, the Krebs cycle, methylation, the vagus nerve, and all those kind of things. Mitochondria, obviously.
So the group that you've had for, I want to hear more. The group that you've had that does the £45 per month, how long have they stayed with you? Have people stayed with you long term?
I think 18 months. 18 months. Yeah, must be 18 months now.
And most people have stayed in the group. That's really exciting. That's cool.
Yeah. And they're great, actually, because they never rarely ever do they, you know, a few people will say, oh, can you just put this in this week's app, you know, can you add something for a job or money or something, or whatever. And obviously the other groups are different because they've got different themes. My latest group that I'm doing is Twin Flame. because obviously lots of people go on and on about twin flame. So that's one of the things I do. And obviously, again, I've got my fertility group. So it's all aimed at that a particular thing. You know, I've got a lot of people that do have the balance procedure cards, but they're a bit lazy, so they have it in an app.
Very, very wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we ask for a couple of volunteers? If you volunteered earlier, just go ahead and put your date of birth in, just so we have a current in the chat. And would you be okay if we did a scan and sort of talked about your approach to cases?
Absolutely.
Okay, now while I'm getting ready to do that, we're going to get all of our dates of birth. Let's give away a couple of prizes while you're on, because you're with us for the hour here. We've got you. Let's choose a number between, in just a moment. We're going to go ahead and give away actually a wireless charger. So this wireless charger is both a stand for your iPad and a stand for your phone, but it also wirelessly charges so that you could be on the go. And if you're starting to run low on juice, you could now wirelessly charge your iPad or iPad Pro or whatever it might be on the go. So we're going to give this away. We send it to people free shipping. Choose a number between 1 and 211. Choose a number. So Beth, you choose a number. Any
you want to see what me to? Sorry, okay.
Yeah, for you.
Okay. 123.
And we're going to have you choose again in just a little bit. So 123 and 123 is Carlene. I know Carlene. Carlene Keel. Oh, yep. Carlene Keel. You've actually won it. So big congratulations to you, Carlene. Let me just go ahead and get her on here. So big congratulations, Carlene. You are getting this wonderful charger. So congratulations. And we're going to do a drawing because I actually forgot with a couple of the guests that we're going to catch up with some of those wonderful prizes. Now we're going to choose somebody from the group. So if you volunteered, and even those of you who are streaming live to YouTube, we're going to have Beth bring her expertise and give her approach to the genius. So let's go ahead and choose someone who's streaming live on YouTube. And we're going to go with Diane M. The only thing is that a YouTube, actually, I apologize, Diane. If you come on our Zoom or join us live on Mondays, I will get that to you, but we can't actually record your voice. So, I got to think a little bit more in advance here. So let's go with Anna. Anna, we're going to work with you. And what we're going to do is we're not going to say your last name here. That's not as important, but we are going to show everything else just so we can show this from beginning to end. So we're going to enter Anna's information. Her last name is not as important, so we're just going to put G, and then we're going to put her birthday. And so Beth, start to think about sort of what your approach is, how you start your session, and let's see if we can actually get a microphone opened for our friend Anna in just a moment here. What are some basics that you're thinking about whenever you're thinking about working with a new client?
Well, the screen went a bit quick there for me. I was trying to look at the date of birth because obviously numbers are very important to me.
Okay, this is 8-10-6-6.
Okay, that's great. So she's born on the 10th of August, isn't she? So she's what we call a 1 and 8. 66 is 12. 22, so that's 22 is a 4. Okay, 12, 13 is a 4. Okay, lovely. So just by looking at her numbers, again, this is my approach. So I would say, okay, she's a 1, 8, 4, 4. So she should be very organized. She's a builder, so if she hasn't got her own business, I would expect her to be building her own business because she's got 2 4s in her numbers. The fact she's got 2 4s, this would suggest to me, just without even looking at her, I would be looking at emotions, because if you've got a 4, you're either very, very, you really, really got a great mood on.
Okay, before you go on, I like your thinking. I like you have so much to you that you come at it from so many ways. Anna, are you able to open up your microphone to speak with us? Because we do want to speak with someone who can give us a voice print. So if you're not able to do that, are you there?
Yes. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good, and you?
Very, very well. We can even just ask you a little bit about what's your experience so far with the Genius.
So I have a friend who had the Genius, and she did a scan on me, and I found it was very accurate. So I wanted.
Is that there's some background noise. I'm not sure if that's you. Yeah. Do you have some, yeah, you may have some noise in your background. Are you able to get to another room so that we can hear you? Because we're hearing quite a bit of background noise. Oh, details. So let's see if we're able to get her.
I will move to another room. 1 second.
Okay. So Beth, when you're sort of thinking about it, first you're thinking about, now she would be a Leo. Is it 8 because it's the number 8, or why are you thinking the organization?
Because that's what an 8 is. And an 8 is somebody that's very organized. 8 is also the color of magenta. If somebody's not organized and not tidy, then they're going to be out of balance with that side of things.
Okay. All right. Let's look at that.
Yeah.
All right. Are you there, Anna?
She's not come back yet.
Okay. If you volunteer, try to be in a quiet place and just test your microphone. Are you with us, Anna?
I'm
Not
here.
yet.
Yes.
Okay. Let's quickly, before things change, let's record your voice. So I'm going to have you say your name and then A-E-I-O-U, A-E-I-O-U over and over again. You ready?
Ready.
I'll start recording in 3, 2, 1. I'm recording.
Anna, A-E-I-O-U, 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 A-E-I-O-U.
Perfect. Absolutely awesome. And Anna, while we still have you in a quiet place there, what are some things that you're focusing on that you'd like to see change and transformation? What areas?
My career, for sure.
Okay. Maybe you can become a Genius practitioner.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
All right. We could work on that. Anything else?
So yeah, that and my health. So like hormone balancing as well.
Hormonal balancing. Okay.
Hormone
Those
balancing.
are 2 good things to work on. Was there a third thing?
More like mindset. Yeah, I'm trying to work on my mindset as well.
Okay. Mindset. Okay. Thinking
Yes.
positively, things like that.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. Anna, thank you. We're going to come back and talk with you in just a little bit. All right.
Great. Thank you.
Woohoo. All right. We were successful there. Awesome. Okay. So we've run the scan and now we're ready to get rolling. So Beth, tell us what we should do next.
Right. Well, I'd like to have a look, first of all, down a bit to see what the meridians are showing. I can't quite see on the screen there.
Absolutely. Let's do it. No worries. I'm your navigator. So I will totally help you with this.
Yeah. So also I notice as well her chakras, because if we look in her date of birth is a 1. So 1 is very powerful, very successful. But also if 1 is out of balance, it's going to upset all the base chakra.
Should we glance at maybe the aura first and just take a quick
let's have a look at the aura. Yeah, let's have a look at the aura.
And then let's absolutely go back. It looked like her stomach meridian was the one that was high right off the bat.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the aura is an interesting blend of sort of yellow and blue. How I'm seeing it on my end is there's a little bit of almost greenish tinge over here. And so right away that kicks off to me, digestive balancing is needed.
Yeah, definitely. But also it's
liver digestion. Go right ahead.
It's very, very cloudy aura. Down the bottom we can see the base chakras out. We can see the purple is it's very fuzzy, very cloudy. So there's a lot going on there at the moment with her. I would say that she's a little bit stressed as well, and I think that stress is showing in the digestive system. So it would probably be, as you say, the stomach meridian, but also probably the digestive system. So and again, I think she's a little bit low self-esteem at the moment, I would say. And again, because she's got the 1 in her numbers and then she's got the 2 4s, she's likely to have, this when she's out of balance with the 4, it's going to bring her self-worth down, and she's going to feel a little bit worthless, probably a little bit low right now. Are you there, Anna? Is that right?
All right, let's bring her back on and find out. Yeah, tell us, Anna.
Yes. Yes, definitely I have digestive issues. And my self-esteem is, yes, a little bit low. And that's why I'm trying to work on my mindset as well.
Okay, cool. Okay, good. Just so that you know as well, in your numbers, your colors are, you've got 2 4s in there, so that's the green, or you could use the pink. Your magenta, that's the 8, and 1 is the red. Okay, so when you're feeling off color, again, I would use colors in the Genius as well to bring you into balance with those, because when you're off, because that makes up you, that's who you are. If those colors are out of balance, then that's what you need. Again, it's very much about looking. I would also look at the spiritual side here and make sure that she's grounded, because it's not feeling like she's grounded. And so we can have a look at that. So let's go back.
Okay, let's go back. Yeah, and go to the meridians. So here are the meridians right here. There we go.
Okay, brilliant. So then I would break down that stomach meridian. I would go into it and take the highs and the lows there.
All right, let's go do that. And let's go into that stomach meridian. A feature to be able to grab the stomach meridian highs and lows is our bulk drag and drop feature. And we pop that up at the plus sign at the bottom left of the screen, and we can choose our reds and we can choose our blues. So let's see what we've got. Quite a few blues, got about 4 blues and about 3 reds out of the meridian. One of the nice things about this is that if you wanted to know where stomach 21 was, you can pretty easily start to look on this view. Actually, it's very clever the way that they did this, because it's not easy to get all the meridians mapped out into this little rectangle. And they did it in a way that you can enlarge it or make it smaller. And you can actually see that the stomach meridian is right here. I think one thing, because the meridians are part of who we are, you don't have to be a Chinese medicine practitioner. You can almost intuitively sometimes direct your energy at that stomach 21. You can even imagine where it is, sort of right below that sternum, right, the xiphoid process. And if Anna does it, she may even find that that's a little bit of a sore spot, and just a little bit of massaging, acupressure can help to start moving the energy. What are your thoughts, Beth?
Well, exactly. Yes, definitely. The other thing, for me, I would literally put the stomach meridian in the tray, and I would also then go back and put the Solfeggio 528 in there. Excellent.
Let's do that. So let's go to the Solfeggio tones and let's choose 528, which is very active for her today.
Yep, I'd put that in.
Okay.
Now then I would do something different. If we go back to the meridians. Okay, and if we go to the top again, see the governing meridian. So if we click on the side of that, and then we're not going to add it to the tray, but if we can go into the governing meridian, at the side, that's it. And then if we just put the do a quick balance, but just for 1 minute on that. So you're not adding it to the tray, but you're just in the governing meridian, and we're just going to blast it for 1 minute.
I like your thinking there. What kind of effect, or what makes you
well, because
want to
the
do
governing,
that?
yeah, because I always think of the meridians as a bit like the Wi-Fi for the human body, if you like, and it's very connected to obviously all the subtle energy bodies as well, and so the governing and the conception vessel are, to me, they're the most important. So if we give them a blast, and then if we go back quickly and just have a quick sneaky look at the aura, we can have a look to see what's changed. But we do a minute on the governing, a minute on the conception vessel.
Yeah, and let's just wait for that to complete its rectification.
Yeah, and I think.
Sorry, can I just say one thing? I do have a hiatus hernia in that area. where
Hiatal
you,
Oh,
hernia.
wow. That's important information. Yeah. Thanks for letting
Yes,
us
very.
know. Yeah.
Okay.
So she
So
says
as I
she has a hiatal hernia
hernia,
actually in
yeah.
that
So
area. That's amazing that it came up and that we could, and then of course the meridian itself would be impeded. Anna, you're talking about the stomach point that we
yes,
just showed, right?
yes, in that area. Yeah, like the
That's
soft
amazing.
tissue. Yeah.
That's amazing. So that's really important. And it was really astute that Beth thought of putting the 528 hertz as well, because that's for transformation and miracles. And so
Yeah.
that energy could really help. What should we do next? We
Okay.
should go to the aura, right? And see what difference there is in
Yeah.
the aura. Okay, let's go
Yeah.
ahead and look after just a minute of running the governing vessel. What changes do we create? And if you're an energetic investigator and you want to find out what changes are evoked by certain frequencies, use the before and after function of the genius. Wow, very interesting. What do you make of this?
Yeah, I love that, because you can see the greens already coming in there at the bottom there. You can see
That's
that's coming.
I think the digestion is starting to
Yeah,
shape
and then
up.
you've got that lovely orange coming through the top there. And so to me, that's the energy of the sacrum, which is what we wanted to look at, which is as a stomach, but it's there coming, showing us something's happening, even though it's not happening in the right area. It's showing us above the head.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. So if we go back now and do the same with the conception vessel.
Okay, let's go ahead and go. We're going to go back to meridians, which includes two important meridians. The governing vessel, which we just did, which is around the back of the body, goes all the way up the back middle meridian, and then, or midpoint of the body. And then conception vessel is all about the front of the body. So adrenal, hormones, fertility. A lot of this is conception. So you can see conception and governing, they're one continuous meridian, and they're very, very important to the overall functioning of the body. So what will we do with the conception vessel?
So again, we're going to do the same thing, just 1 minute zap on that.
For 1 minute, we're going to do a quick zap. Okay, I like your, so we're running the quick balance, and when we tap on the quick balance function at the bottom, what it begins to do is it balances automatically all the red items and all the blue items for that particular panel. So you don't need to add anything to the tray. It'll automatically do it. And in this way, even for Beth as a practitioner, it allows her to work a lot faster because she doesn't have to actually add anything to the tray. She can get an overall balancing and clearing of that meridian very, very quickly. I really like what you're doing here. It's interesting that governing and conception lined up, right? Exactly together in that, in her scan, because it's something that sounds like you think about anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. And then obviously she's now given us some more further information. She's got hiatal hernia. So for me, if she's one of my clients, the next thing I will be looking at once I go to the libraries, I will be looking at cortisol, but I'd also be looking at her the nervous system, and also looking at inherited nervous system problems, because her body seems to be a little bit stressy.
So let's talk about that a little bit. In terms of a hiatal hernia, it typically is going to be someone who's pretty stressed. Tell us a little bit about the physiology or the pathophysiology of the hernia, what people might experience, and what you know about the stress relationship.
Well, the hiatal hernia obviously is just under the breast, and it's kind of where it sits. It is created by acid. The hiatus hernia, I always go with caution on the hiatus hernia, because again, that I read many years ago that in America it's taken very serious, the hiatal muscle, and a lot of people die through having heart attacks, and the heart attack is caused by the hiatal muscle being raised up because it's inflamed, and it becomes inflamed because of either having lots of inflammatory foods or stress related.
So let's just talk about that for a moment. So fried foods or really heavy foods, foods that might create sort of an acidic state in the body, things like that, and probably just the emotional connection as well. What can you not stomach? What can you not digest?
And it's interesting, if you look here, can you see the food allergies are coming up? Fruits.
Yeah.
And that doesn't surprise me, because lots of fruits are acidic. And if you're a blood type O, which you possibly may be, blood type O, if you end up being very stressed, it leads to hiatus hernia. That's the hiatal muscle being inflamed for a long period of time, eventually becomes a hiatus hernia. And that means that your body. So again, I would be saying to, Anna, relaxation, meditation, definitely, bit of yoga, and also something like Pilates. They're the kind of things you want, because your body is literally probably quite stressy. You probably don't relax enough, or your body doesn't feel relaxed. So again, I've got a program that I've written which is called Relaxing My Elites, for people that find it a little bit hard to relax and who are always on the go.
Very good.
Because I think sometimes we think we're relaxing when we really aren't.
Very good. I like that. So she needs to find the way to just de-stress a little bit more. So, and if you look at the general assessment digestion that I just pulled up, it actually, sort of bingo for Beth, it absolutely right there says in writing, stress affecting digestion. We didn't just write this library. It just came up as we're testing it. So that's kind of amazing. So you're spot on. You have such a great investigative ability. I love your approach. So
now I would also, looking down, you've got the ileocecal valve saying imbalance, but it's a 473. But I would actually put that in the tray, because it could be 473 because it's matching itself against everything in that library.
Right.
But when you take it and put it into the tray, it becomes something else.
So, and we'll look at that in progressive insights, but tell us a little bit about your thoughts about the ileocecal valve and why it might be relevant here.
Ileocecal valve, I love, but it's one of my biggest things. I love it because, again, ileocecal valve syndrome, it's missed by so many people. Sometimes you can spot it in people that are over a certain age and children, because, you know, if you've got that person that you suddenly go, oh my God, you've got morning breath, you know, that horrible, and they can say, what did you eat last night? And did you brush your teeth before you went to bed? And they say, yes, I don't know why my breath smells horrible. And it's because the ileocecal valve is not functioning 100%. The ileocecal valve is a valve that literally opens and closes in the gut. And it's a bit like going to bed and leaving the lid off the bin. You come down to the kitchen the next morning, you think, oh my God, that's a smell of garbage. And it's because the lid has not been put down properly. And it's one of those things that, again, it's stress related. So ileocecal valve is very much stress related. And also, if the ileocecal valve is not functioning 100%, you will not lose weight. You won't lose weight. You've got to get it right. You know, you've got to get those things.
Be probably a good sort of tonic or wellness preventative is that someone could take that frequency for ileocecal valve and they could place it up into the quick zap with something like the Solfeggio 528 and run that for 15 minutes in the morning. Now that would probably be something good to maybe do once a week as a wellness practice for yourself to sort of make sure that it's in, you know, good order. So you could just put the ileocecal valve and sort of a potentiator, something that will add energy, put the energy with the ileocecal valve. And then, you know, something that probably is really good would be to add an emotion or flower essence or something like that.
And definitely amino acid. Definitely amino acids.
Okay, tell us about the amino acid.
Well, if you're somebody that's highly stressed, your amino acids would just be burning out. You know, and that's one thing
because they produce the neurotransmitters is what you're thinking there.
You know, absolutely. And sometimes if you're getting stressed, you're not digesting foods properly. And if you're not digesting your foods properly, it's going to throw the pancreas out, you know, and stuff like that. So you need to make sure that they're all working properly. So amino acids, definitely, because obviously they're the building blocks of the body. So I've definitely put them in, and looking at what's coming up there, the methionine and all the rest of it. It's, very, very interesting there. And I would put the glutamine in as well. It's at 152. Are you doing a quick balance on that, are you?
It was not a quick balance. I put it in the quick zap, exactly. And glutamine, is a great choice as well, because it helps to nourish the enterocytes, the cells inside the lining of the small intestine, helps to heal leaky gut. So it's a great choice for that digestive distress.
And so I noticed at the bottom, if you look where it says harmony 33, so I would look at that and say that's a 6. So the 6 means that it's going into the mind. If we go and look at the alignment, it's a 3 and a 4, that's a 7. So it's knowing that this is happening. And then if we go to the next bit, the energy flows a 3 and a 1, that's a 4. That means it's a nice balance.
You know, I've never heard anybody interpret the energy flow. To you, numerology is very important in your cases, it sounds like.
No, just numbers in general. I mean, everything is a frequency. A frequency is a number. So numbers to me are very, very important, just generally. And everything with the flow of the numbers comes the colors, comes the geometric symmetry. And all those things are just, I mean, look at the Saveggios, 528's numbers. You know.
Yeah, numbers are information. They're encoded information and mathematics. So what is your maybe a quick 1 to 9? What's your take on 1? What's the number 1?
Number 1's power and success. It's the red. It's the red color. It's my life path number. I'm a red, hence the red jacket. So and I know that if a red is out of balance, they're going to be lazy. They're going to procrastinate. They're going to feel sorry for themselves. But if a 1 is balanced and then they're in their power, they're going to be all dynamic. You know. So and again. You know, that's why I've got colours in my genius, because if you're out of balance on a colour, it will change your moods. You know, and again, colours are associated with obviously emotions again.
What's number 2?
Number 2, that's the orange, and that's all my needs are met. So
all your needs are met. Number 2.
Yeah, and number 2, and that number 2, when it's in balance, is all about security. So that's interesting. So if we look there again, now we've started to change things. Can you see, although it's cloudy, it's become more balanced in the cloudiness. So we can now see that all the bottom is going, ugh, and all the top part is very cloudy, but it's the purple coming, which means here we are, we're moving into a point of transformation. But
very good. And also I notice all the digestive distress has pretty much moved out of the field. Yeah. So that's really cool too.
And kind of, so now we have to go back in and we have to play properly.
Okay, now before we do, let's just pause here. So when we did our rectification, we're always looking for over 40% rectification. Yeah. So as long as it's 40% rectification, we've actually achieved the goal of running those frequencies. Now, I know to many people watching, 40%, that's rather on the low side. They might think 70, 80, or 90, but in the genius, we just want a subtle movement. So 40% is sufficient. And it tells us that that person has gotten out of that series of frequencies all they need for today. We got to 46% rectification. And what Beth does is she actually looks at these different harmony, alignment, and energy flow, which are then averaged in our average percent rectification. So tell us about 44%
so 40,
and how
so
that's
40,
relevant.
Yeah, so 44 is an 8. An 8 is transformation. So
and
there
she's
you
an
go.
8 month too.
So there's she's transfer. So basically she's transforming. Okay, that's the harmony. And then we look at the next bit, the alignment, the 5 and the 2, the 7, the whole system is saying, I know this is happening. And then we go again and we see the energy flow is again the 7. It's saying, yes, my energy knows it's changing. And then if we look at the overall, 4 and the 6 is 1, is power. It's going. So
almost like completion or there as well.
Yes, this is happening. This is powerful. So that's really good. You know, that's amazing actually, because we couldn't make that up, could we?
I know you couldn't make it up. So
Excellent.
Let's just bring her to progressive insights and sort of summarize up so we can sort of continue to talk with you a little bit. Go right ahead.
Before you do that, can I just ask, can you put in the a couple of chakras for me in there?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay. And we've got the solar, the throat, and the sacral, which other ones?
Yes, so sacral definitely got to go in there.
which is the second chakra.
Yeah.
The throat
second
chakra being
yeah.
the fifth chakra, and the
Yeah.
sacral being the first, the
And
solar being
obviously
the
then
third.
I think I would definitely put the heart in, and the solar definitely in.
The heart as well. Let me just read. I didn't say that
Yeah.
exactly correctly. Let's just go through this, and I hope the developer will add these eventually. The sacral is
Yep.
number 2, the second, and I guess
Yep.
actually they can look on here.
Yeah.
The root chakra is the first. I kind of misspoke there for a second. So
Yep.
sacral is going to be second, but she also is solar, which is
Yep.
third.
So
That
I
is
would,
around the digestive system and also
Yeah.
just power issues. Go right ahead.
I would put the 3 low ones in. So I would, when I say that, I mean the red, the orange, and the yellow.
Yeah,
So
I got them in there. Yeah,
yes,
they're in
yeah.
there now. Okay, so
Correct.
can we go to progressive insights?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And why is it important for you? Why do you like to include the chakras?
Because if the chakras aren't balanced, it's going to be your energy system won't be grounded. You're not going to have those energy fields coming in and helping everything else to realign. Because everything, the chakras, the meridians, on your systems, everything's within a system.
Right.
Like we're in a solar system. Where you live, you're in a village, in a town, etc. So we're all part of these different systems, and they all have a knock-on effect. You wouldn't have a house without a roof, and so on and so forth. So for me, you need to get those energies flowing, those chakras open and balanced. And if you're going to do one, then I would do the bottom 3 first of all, especially knowing that she's got stomach issues, self-worth. So that's going to be the base chakra. We didn't put in there, but I think we've got enough in the tray now. But I would have looked, as I say, at the cortisol.
Oh yeah, the cortisol as well.
Yeah.
We're running a little bit short for time, but that's very
that's
very
fine.
good. So we've got the stomach 27, bile sluggish, so maybe a good liver cleanse, castor oil pack, emotional root cause fungus, 528, the throat chakra, and intrahepatic stones, stomach 19. So still working on that stomach meridian. Intrahepatic stones, we don't do a diagnosis, but it tends to tell us that the liver just needs some more movement, probably some emotions in there, and just physically needs some energetic movement. Definitely.
If the bile is sluggish there, I mean, that's going to affect your mood, definitely. Especially being a 1 in your numbers. If your liver is sluggish, you're going to be quick to anger or get frustrated. So
all right, well, let's bring Anna back on, and Anna, if you tell us a little bit about how is the information landing with you? What are your thoughts as we've gone through your scan today?
Hi, if I was there, I would come. If this wasn't virtually, I would come over and hug both of you because it was so incredibly accurate. Because this morning, I thought I was having a heart attack. So I was having symptoms of like chest pain, and I felt like I was gonna faint. And I've been, because of my work, I'm a dental hygienist, and the masks I think are taking a toll on me now because we wear the N95 masks.
Oh, yeah.
And also with the hiatus hernia, that was interesting because I do have hiatus hernia, and you said that if it's inflamed, it can push up like I'm having a heart attack.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds like the minute I heard you say that, I thought, digestive distress, and sometimes digestive distress, whether it be gas or the hiatal hernia or whatever, it totally can mimic where people end up at the emergency room, and really the doctor will end up telling them, no, you're not having a heart attack, you're just having some digestive distress at this time.
Anna, you need to go and see someone who can give you an exemption for wearing a mask. A mask is not, if you've got a hiatal hernia, you don't want to be wearing a mask because again, it's going to cause too much stress.
Yeah, I feel it. It's catching up to me. And,
it's not a good thing for you. Mask is not a good thing. Maybe go and speak to someone and explain you've got hiatus hernia. And it's just not, it puts too much pressure on you. Interesting aura. Look at that.
We're going to just talk a little bit about your aura here, Anna. Yeah. So I think this reminds me of the peaks and valleys. Sometimes we move up a little bit, and sometimes we go back in deeper to do a deeper clearing of the digestion. What's your sense of this aura?
My sense of this aura is there's a lot going on. You can see the lines going across and up and everything. And again, it's still very cloudy. So what I would look and think, well, we're doing all these things to correct like the hiatal hernia and this, that, and the other. But now I would say, actually, what she needs is a hug, an aura hug, as I call it. So for me to do an aura hug and to make her feel like, oh, I'm having a hug, I would go in and I would put the orchids in there. Or I put the Amazonian herbs in, something like that.
Okay, how about if for now we just demonstrate that sort of that effect by putting all of the solfeggios as a solfeggio hug for her? Would that be?
Yeah, you could do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. We like to
or a minute
burst.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can end the session on a very positive note and sort of leave the aura in a really, very, very calm place, because the body will continue to try to transform, take a deeper dive, like come up with that purple and the light, and then even dive more deeply into that digestive healing. So if you're ending a session, then the sort of logical way to end it and sort of wrap it up is to just go ahead and end on something like solfeggios, nogiers, flower essences, different types of flower essences, the Australian bush essences, or living orchid essences, and many others. So Beth, I absolutely love your approach. People really are responding well to it. They love your take on numerology and the chakras. And so we're so lucky to have you as part of our Genius community. Please tell people how to get in touch with you so they can learn more about you.
Well, you can. I've got a website. My website's called balancingemotions.co.uk. So it's www.
And can anyone from anywhere make an appointment with you, or is it only for?
Yeah, they can. I only do virtual office. So I do literally. It's either Zoom or Skype or WhatsApp. And I do, obviously, with the Genius, I do, funny enough, I've been doing a lot of house clearings. Lots of house clearings.
Really, that's been a big request.
It's been a real request, and it's mainly America and Canada, strangely enough. But lots of clearing the land and all the rest of it, and using the Genius. So it's been brilliant. It's always, I love my job. It's never the same twice, I don't think. It's fascinating, and I love all this, and the fact that also I can write my own libraries, and I'm very into ancestral stuff. So for me, I write lots of ancestral libraries and things, and look at that, because I think it's such a great way to start. If you start backwards and work the other way, you can clear so much.
Yes, up the ancestral line,
in the auric fields, starting with the subtle bodies and stuff. No,
okay, so anyone can go to Beth's website and get in touch with her for anything you want to ask, the things she talked about, to make an appointment with her, to become part of one of her groups. So please do get in touch with her. It's balancingemotions.co.uk. And we've put that into the chat so people can see that in the chat. And we also follow up with that afterwards, and we've got a page where we've listed all of our guests as well that we'll share. And Beth, before you go, we need to give away something more here. And so we have this beautiful water bottle, which is actually for making tea. And so you can make herbal tea in here. And it's really, really gorgeous. It's beautiful to look at. But the fun thing is that you could then put this on the remedy plate and charge up the frequencies. So we're going to give away that. So we're going to need another number between 1 and 211. So you could take this and actually put it on the remedy plate here, if you can see that. And when it's on the remedy plate, then you can charge up your favorite herbal tea, shaga, reishi, schizandra, peppermint, whatever you like to drink as tea. Okay, what's the number?
73.
73. So actually, Beth is picking the number, and we have a whole list of everybody who's joined, and we've assigned everybody a number with their registration. So number 73 is Cheryl Townsend. So Cheryl, you're going to get this beautiful water bottle for making your tea. So Beth, thank you so much for everything that you've given to our community, and especially today. Do you have any final thoughts for people thinking about getting the Genius?
Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic. It's a great investment. You'll never ever be sorry that you do this. And if you want to try, I offer people the subscription for a week for free. If you'd like to try it, you're more than welcome. Just email me and say, "Can I try your subscription for a week for free?" It might give you an insight that you want to go away then and actually buy the Genius, if not subscribe. But it's brilliant. So yes, I just think, and if you're going to buy it, do definitely go for the Elite. It's the best option always, so definitely. And there's some fantastic practitioners out there, really are. And there's some fantastic groups on Facebook. There's always someone that's going to be there to help you. And thank you so much, Ariel, and thank you so much to all the other guest speakers and those people who are listening in. I hope it's been worth it for everyone.
Thank you, Beth. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you again soon.
Take care. Thank you very much. Bye now.
Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
Really wonderful. Oh, it's always a pleasure to hear from Beth and have her be part of our events. And she brings so much to the table. And I know there's been a really positive response from people in the chat that enjoyed. So check her out at balancingemotions.co.uk. So today is Wednesday. It's